Lucy Heartfailure. Oh boy. Hold on to your hats because today I'm gonna talk about a particular character, and if you're subscribed to me, then you will know what's about to go down, even if you don't know why I have decided to talk about this right now and not earlier or not later. The reason for my timing is quite random, to be honest. I mean, I did have this discussion kind of thing with one of my viewers a while back in the comment section, which did boost my will to make this video, but it's not the only reason. Oh no, I've been considering this for a long time. I just didn't know when the time would be right, if it ever would be. So this is a risky topic, but enough said about that. Let's go absolutely ham on everyone's favorite female in fairy tale. Except mine, of course. Lucy Heartfailure. Okay, so Lucy is a very loved character within the series of fairy tale, but there is one thing throughout the series that makes her stand out above the rest of the main characters. And by main, I'm referring to herself, Ursa, Grey, Wendy, Gaji, Loxus, and Natsu. I may have missed someone, but just to be clear, Juvia, Levi, the Strauss family aren't included. Anyway, so yeah, she stands out quite a bit, and the reason why she stands out is because out of all these characters, she's, for lack of a better word, useless. I mean, she's become a lot more useful in recent times within the manga, since the time skip Lucy has grown into quite a fighter when comparing to what she was during the Tartarus arc. But let's ignore the present just for a moment, because we can't ignore the past. I say she's useless, and I'm basing that off of the entirety of the series. I just want to make that very clear. Right now, she may not be, but for so many arcs, she's been considered a main protagonist, yet she hasn't done much on her own. Almost every time, if not every time in fact, she's needed help from either Grey, Natsu, Ursa, or possibly even some other character, and this is what has ruined Lucy for me. I mean, just take a look at Wendy, for example. She's a much better written character than Lucy is. Both of these girls started as absolute weaklings, but fact is that even though Wendy was introduced later, she has grown much more than Lucy has done in an even longer time, seeing as she was actually introduced in chapter 1 of Fairy Tail. Let's talk about her good deeds then. I mean, she's not all bad. Even in earlier arcs, there have been moments where Lucy played her part, and if she hadn't, things would be very different right now. I mean, let's take Edless for example. She did save Natsu and Wendy since they couldn't use their own magic, so there's that. And she did destroy one of the lacrimas inside of the Nirvana thing during Orasian's Says. So I mean, as you can see, there are of course deeds worthy of recognition. The bigger deeds she has done, however, come to light around Tartarus and the Alvarez War. This is when Lucy finally joined the game of who's worthy of my time, and she's finally earned her spot, just barely. No thanks to her past deeds of course, but let's be real, her sacrifice during the Tartarus arc is probably the first big moment for her, because if she had not sacrificed her key, which held the ability to call forth Aquarius, the entire guild would be trapped within whatever the fuck that shit was called that Margear did when everyone except for Lucy actually became part of the structure. So this is her first huge bit, and the reason why I would rank this above some other big things that she's done is the fact that she actually had no one that could save her this time. It was up to her and her spirits alone, and she managed to pull through. Then there are a few smaller feats during the Alvarez War that I like. I mean, most of her performances in that arc are quite neat, except for the fight with Jacob, of course. I mean, she was the key to keeping Jacob still and all of that, but Natsu did take him out with one blow once the guild hall wasn't gonna be caught in his crossfire. Another example in the war would of course be her moment with Brandish. Even if she never stood a chance one-on-one against her, she did try regardless, and her guts against Dimaria while tied to that chair was a sign of good development as a character, even if not as a warrior. So in this arc, I give her props. I only wish it had been much sooner, because as I kinda said, when a character has been around since chapter 1 of the series and only become capable of being independent in what has now been announced to be the final arc of the whole series, I just can't like the character enough. A character can definitely become one of the best within the series in just one arc if they were introduced very recently. I mean, you have to take into account how long they've been around. Another thing I want to address, and this is probably less known by my subscribers. I mean, some of you will know of it, but perhaps not everyone, and so I will clear it up for those few who may have wondered this. And the issue is when I said that I was pro Nali, which I still am kinda, even though I currently ship Nali because of the fact that Nali is a lost cause. But I still very much dream of Nali being a thing. Some people took this the wrong way and thought that I actually like Lisanna more than Lucy as standalone characters, but here's what I told one of my subscribers and I will repeat it to you all. I like the ship Nalu more than Nalu, but not necessarily the character. I mean, like I also said, you can't compare Lucy and Lisanna because Lucy is a main protagonist and Lisanna has become, and probably was from the start, a side character at best. By side character, I don't mean on the same scale as Blue Pegasus, but more on the same scale as like Levi and the other Strauss members and so on and so forth. Juvia probably not so much. I mean, she has become closer to being a main protagonist, to be honest, even if she's not quite there yet. So yeah, but like you have Mira, you have Elfman, you have Levi, you know, those kind of characters. I would rank Lisanna on the same level as them, while Lucy is on the same tier of significance as Natsu, Ursa, Grey, Gajil, Wendy. You expect a lot less from a side character than you do from a main character, and that's why if I had compared the two directly, I would have chosen Lucy, because you can't base it on usefulness when Lisanna is a side character and Lucy is a main protagonist. Lisanna's sole purpose within Fairy Tail is to be Natsu's childhood friend. There's nothing more that she's actually good for right now. While Lucy is a main protagonist, she was the first character ever introduced within the series. She even came before Natsu, and that just proves just how important Lucy is to the plot in some way. Well, probably will be by the end of Fairy Tail, I imagine. Yet she's not all that, you know, useful in comparison to the other main characters, which I kinda dislike. Alright, to summarize, I wanna just say, I don't hate Lucy as much as I used to, but I still hate her pretty fucking much. She's also blonde and, according to legend, an exceed. Well, that'll do it for today. Let me know what you think down below. How much do you hate me now in comparison to before? I'll be delighted to read your furious comments, and as always, if you did, please like this video if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new to my channel. See ya soon.